Hello and welcome back to Figment. We are hurting a bit after dealing with yet another puzzle with...
There's our book!
With these waves of despair. None of these, eh?
These memory contraptions are everywhere.
That's a big one.
The mind doesn't really connect the dots up here.
Cheer up. There must be a purple battery around here.
I don't think that's the way we want to go first, because over there is nothing but a way to use a handle and a way to use a battery. We have neither. So I think we have to turn this once more. Let's go straight across. Okay, snakes. Like this. Just one, and... Woo! Got it! That is in fact the way towards...
I'm really getting sick of chasing that guy around.
Don't you know? In this place, you don't chase the fear chases you!
Look out! Dusty!
Oh, Jesus. More things to dodge. I could do with a healing, but now is not the time for it. What is that? Oh, it's just a tag. I thought it was something that I could actually use, but no, it's a block.
Great! Let's find a place to charge this thing!
Well,
Yeah.
might as well heal now that I have a quiet moment to do so.
I'm getting too old for this stuff, Piper.
Don't talk! Just keep moving!
I will talk if I so want to. This is a let's play, not a move play. I don't know about that. That was poorly thought out and not really executed very well.
Your struggle is pointless, friend! Everything is!
Made it. When I get my hands on that bastard.
He flew away. I'm starting to share your feeling.
Oh. Okay. I don't know why it didn't register as throwaway. Yeah. No, it wasn't. Hooray! I believe that this is where there will be a charge for
More
the...
spiders.
And I can't really do anything about them because they are... out of reach. Come on! I hate bullet hells. So, oh, they disappear again. Good. Well, I still haven't found a way to charge a battery, and they reappear. Well, isn't that just great? Yeah. Come on, Hutchins, get it. Oh, that's right. I didn't get hit there. That was definitely in my peripheral way. So now you may stop. I need to charge this, it's gonna be over here. Thankfully, now the spiders are gone. It's a little easier. A little easier to concentrate when they aren't harping on my back like that. What? What? Oh, there's one more. Right. Okay. 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. What? Oh, yeah, because it was 2. Right. Ah. Turn that over and
It's alive!
charge. Oh, and it comes back on its own. Thankfully. And then just one more way back. Thankfully, it's pretty forgiving in terms of this puzzle, and I definitely like that. This, then not all the way, then this, and then... What? Oh, it was not going all the way to the edge. Okay. No.
At least that worked. Some detour.
Yep, you don't
Getting
say.
too far from home.
If only we could have caught the thief earlier, this would have been over already.
Well, I'm assuming... Let's see, where are we exactly going? Oh, all the way to the... what appears to be the last possible aisle.
I think
Okay.
we're very close to the conscious mind now. Do you have the book under control?
I hope. It's just really hard to get it to...
Look out!
Whoa!
Never judge a flying book by its cover. Are you okay?
I don't know. We should have never gone this close to the conscious mind. I don't think this place is stable. Too many fresh thoughts.
Isn't that the Dreadful Nightmares book?
Yeah. Hope he hurt himself.
Oh, you two! The heroes in this travesty of a story! So insisting on ending your irrelevant existence. You will lose face and all your keys, all purpose time shows no remorse. Soon all that you have left is grief over things that once was yours, and you will lose everything. You will lose everything.
I like those little, Oh, so I had to get the book onto that. Well, that's not exactly easy now, is it? Doesn't help that it's this time of day where... Is there even a way to get it? Yeah, there is. Ah, I got it. Okay, we're getting some groovy soundtrack once again. That's definitely one thing that they got with this. There are things that I am less pleased about, but there we go. Can you go up that? No, okay. You can stand in the corner then. I see. That won't do much because, yeah, you can't go across that. So you have to go there. Walk. Then twice? How much will be standing here? Since we're moving the book anyway. Oh, not what I wanted to do. There we go. Then... oh, you have to have a runner, is that it? Okay. Pop. Can you? Okay, so you can't do that. Okay, I thought it could go over, but apparently not. Fight? No? Oh.
The celebrations are just getting started! Throw up your hands in sadness and lose yourself in the madness! Dance!
Oh! Well, that's nasty. I have to give it over there, okay. Is there some kind of button somewhere? There is. But I have to get all the way the other way. Okay. Oh no. Ow! That was poorly timed. Should be safe here. Come on, send another wave. You dingbat. That was a little too soon, actually. Could have been bad, but we managed. Is there a bit of healing? I get it. We're on a car.
You got him!
But he escaped. Big surprise.
Come on, big guy. You were born for this. And look, we can still get him!
We can? How? Is there something I'm supposed to... What? Oh! Right. Well, it's starting to become a little more real, so to say. I've not yet dealt any actual damage to this nightmare, but...
There he is!
The summer turns to enter, the days turn into years, your youthful face will wither, your smile will turn into tears, and you will lose everything. You will lose everything.
This is just not bonk. Yoink. And can I make it? Can I make it? No, I can't. Okay, well. It's just a matter of waiting. Which is fine. Oh, not again. Oh, there we go.
We keep losing him. What's the point?
Well, that's what he wants. He wants us to give up. Okay. Orange battery, green battery, button. Okay, let's see what this is about. This looks
Come
like a
now!
winner.
Give in! Let's party!
Throw up your hands in sadness and lose yourself in the madness. Dance!
I'm supposed to do what? Oh, I'm supposed to use the access ramps. Right, okay. That wasn't very clear. Well, at least we haven't taken any damage so far. That seemed to be relatively easy to dodge. Even the big waves. Like that, yeah. That's not hard. Okay. Getting some circuit vibes here. Oh, I needed the button first. Great. I don't suppose I can get just off. No. Ah, that's... Poorly timed. No, I just have to dodge until then, because I don't think I can hit him. This is just a dodge-a-thon. Ow. What sector does that do? Okay. I did not touch that. Stop hurting me. Get your... Like I said, hitbox protection is a bit funky at times. And that's not what you want in a game like this. Now that was to come... Oh, whoa! I somehow dodged that? I mean, sure. Back and... Okay. Let me guess. He's not going to just stand and take it. Too much roll. Too much roll. No! I don't think I can get... Can I? No. Okay. It changed direction just as I were to hit the button. This will do. Come on! Get on! Thank you. Is he gonna run away again?
You'll never get rid of me!
Maybe he's right, Piper. And if we ever get him, another nightmare will show up. Or the mind will forget all about me again. It's useless. Nothing ever changes.
That's not true. You did!
Looking okay for time. It's not that bad, actually. I'll take that with us. Better to have full health than...
And every breath is borrowed and draws you closer to the end. And each heartbeat a countdown to losing family and friends. You will lose everyone. You will lose everyone.
The walls are closing in! What do we do?
It seems this is it, Piper. Might as well.
Okay, I've had enough of this sad tune. We get it. Everything dissolves in time, but things still count while we're alive. Let's face our fears, live till we die, so we can go out with a smile. Let's make this count while we're alive.
But...
The walls. They disappeared. I didn't know you could sing, Piper.
Well, you were losing it, buddy. I had to do something.
All right. I'll try to keep my head on from now on. I wouldn't want this to turn into a musical.
I think it already is. Why does that one have that many?
I think the nightmare's starting to crack up. Let's go
Okay,
get him.
this could be...
I think you're right. Let's make this count.
You're wrong! Sadness must swallow everything!
Now just give up and let yourself go. Now let me take your sanity. Just get out that sadness flow.
Ah, we're not...
There's no purpose, just a flee.
Come on down here so I can hit you. Alright. That's not cool. Are you gonna keep jumping like that? Alright.
Fool me once!
Okay. I'm just gonna go around in circles because that seems to work. I am digging this soundtrack. Come on. And you're gonna jump and... Get away from the center. And he's gonna try and follow me, and he's not gonna... Okay, he did hit me once. Oh, yeah. Oh, so when he doesn't hit me, that's when he gets the full spin. Oh, this is nasty. Alright, this is doable. It's just a matter of... Yeah, there we go. Come on! One more time, buddy. Let's end this. Come on, throw your gunk. Ow. Buddy! That's the scrapbook.
No more running, friend.
Yeah. Seems to reach the end game. Come put an end to me if you must. But your precious book will also fall into oblivion. And your quest will have been in vain. Eventually, I always win.
You don't win. All that book holds is faded pictures from the past. I'm the mind's courage. I don't need it anymore. Sleep tight, Nightmare.
Take that, Dr. Dread! Oh no! Dusty! Your scrapbook!
Don't worry. I'll live. I'm more worried about the mind.
What do you mean?
The nightmares are gone, but all of this was not caused by a usual scare. It must have been a huge trauma.
You think the mind will get over it?
I don't know. The mind doesn't really seem tuned to big challenges anymore. I think we need to go remind it.
What? You mean talk to the conscious mind?
Yeah.
Well, we are technically at the end of an episode, but I think this is close enough to the end of this game that I want to see it through to the end. I think it's just a matter of walking the rest of the way, basically. Faster than that. Junior, is Piper losing color? She seems more gray here, where to Dusty seems the same kind of color. I hope that I'm wrong in that prediction.
Up there, Dusty! I think that's what we're looking for. What are you gonna do?
Sometimes, to get back on track, all you need is a wake-up call.
Think it will work?
I think it will. Hey you! Mind! It is time to wake up and face your fears. Everyone feels doubt when confronted with the unknown. It's so easy to get overwhelmed by distress and adversity. But hiding away doesn't solve anything.
Come on, you lazy bum. Wake up.
Mom! Come in here! I think Dad just moved! What? Are you sure, honey? He just moved his head! I swear!
Oh, my head.
Oh, thank God! He's waking up!
I'm coming back to the surface through the alleys of my mind. Everything here is broken. I need time to make it right. So hold on, and soon comes the day. And there are sights you must see to believe them. Yeah, hold on, I might be far away, but I know I will see you again. This tangled walk down these pathways I must take on my own. Obstacles and conundrums lie on my way back home. So hold on, and soon comes the day. There are lights on my way that will lead me. Yeah, hold on, I might be far away, but I know I will see you again. I know you float at the surface, stranded with no end in sight, stuck to the ground while you're waiting to resolve your lives. So hold on, and soon comes the day. There are things that are still worth believing. Yeah, hold on, I might be far away, but I know I will see
Okay, I think there's an after end scene here. Oh, no, there isn't. Okay. Let me just go in here and be like... So, this was an interesting game. It didn't move me quite as much as Qa'Rajh did, but I think this was more interesting. It had more to offer in terms of gameplay. I think most of the puzzles were good. There were a couple of times when the puzzling got a little too convoluted. I don't know how far I've gotten in terms of progression towards 100%, but I like the fact that it does have some replayability in that you don't necessarily get all the memories on one. I don't think it makes a huge difference in terms of collecting all the memories. And if it does, I mean, you can probably look that up online. I'm not going to go through and attempt to get all the memories. I don't even know how many I've missed. And honestly, I don't care. I think the addition of combat was a good idea, but not necessarily in combination with that level design, which meant that you rarely had a lot of place to move. And you might think that a dodge and attack is enough, but the fact that you also sometimes were targeted by projectiles, and now to me, when you dodge, that is a avoid taking damage because you dodged the hit. It didn't quite function like that in this game, and I'm not too fond of that. If you call it a dodge, I as a gamer is going to assume that I am not taking damage while dodging. And that's only partly true, as we saw with the waves here last on. I will say that I really liked the story and how the gameplay tied into that. Perhaps a bit of the, I could understand the fear of loss essentially being the main boss. The fear of spiders and the fear of sickness seems a little odd. I get that he sort of, the story is that a man surviving a car crash and basically in a coma, reliving fears of his childhood and perhaps fears that might go through his head. But I don't think that those would have been obvious fears for a car crash. So, yeah, a little on the edge there. I do think, especially when we got away from the plague was a bit of a sort of sidetrack, and some of the puzzles there were... In fact, I find that the puzzles in the creative part of the mind, so early on in the game, were more annoying than the logic puzzles. Yes, I'm not particularly good at the puzzles where you have to slide a block to a certain place, but that's just how I do puzzles, or rather don't do puzzles. I will say that it was an interesting experiment, and I very much like, especially the soundtrack. The soundtrack was amazing. Both from the sort of funky, groovy background to the sing-song of the bosses. I think that was a really cool way to do bosses. Basically having the bosses be the sort of quote-unquote performer of the song while you're sort of dealing with them. That was actually a really cool touch and made it feel more like you were in a sort of, not exactly music driven, but rather where the singing of the boss told the story, so that you don't actually need to have lore pieces and sort of lying about. That was a cool way to do it, and that was a cool way to drive the story forward. I will say that there needed to be a bit more of an, this is a cutscene, this is not a cutscene, you can now move, you can now get hurt, because that felt a little, I got surprised by it a little, quite a few times where I was like, okay, I'm enjoying the cutscene, lean back, put the controller on the table, like, you know, enjoy and follow the story. But then it almost fluently, which is good in some cases, it got to gameplay instead of cutscene. And I would have preferred a little more of a hard cut between those, so that it essentially would be like cutscene, then cut to black, have a loading screen, then gameplay. Because that way, you know for sure that, okay, now you're in the gaming part of it. Or not watching a cutscene, so you're ready to move and act. Especially with Plague, given that he was like very instantly attacking us. For the most part, I really, really enjoyed this game. Was it a spooky game? Now, I am sort of like using the Halloween as a sort of, but that's more or less just because that's usually the time of year where I have the most spare time. Was it a scary game? No, not per se. It was a kind of a sad game in a sense, but I think it was fitting. It was very, very, very stylish, that's for sure. And I would definitely recommend it. Now, I played this on a Switch. It is available on Steam. So if you want to play with keyboard and mouse, you can do that. I don't know if that is better, because I don't know how that is set up. Like, if it was a point and click for mouse only, that could make combat really difficult. But it could make puzzle solving really nice. So that's a thing. There also was a thing with the levels being as narrow as they were. Hitbox detection was a thing that seemed to fluctuate very much. So, for example, the platforms that were moving, they had a very narrow hitbox, and you could not move from one platform to another. If there was the slightest bit of movement, that animation was basically like taking a bit too long, so the frames didn't allow you to move onto it, would make it seem like it was very hard to get onto it. Especially you saw here in before up to the boss fight on that dial, where it was basically like, even though the bridge over was fully there and like it's out there, you're pressing up against it. Because you're not hitting that one spot where it allows you to go across, it basically says, well, you're not walking into the right space. You're not getting across this bridge, and that's a bit annoying. Opposite that, especially with the waves like that, there were also a few attacks where I was like, I didn't touch that. Where the hit point detection for characters was a little too great. Some attacks seemed to hit even though I was clear of them. Now, I will definitely admit I am not the greatest at dodging. Fair enough. And quite a few of the hits that I did take were definitely deserved. Because I didn't manage to dodge in time, wasn't fast enough, or whatever. But when a lot of the hits hit you because the hitbox is too large, then you start to have a problem, and that's starting to get annoying. There was a couple of times, especially during that wave segment, that I was like, is this really gonna end the game? Because obviously I had to get through that to progress, but I could not make the stretch that you needed to get through without taking a hit, and because I didn't have full health, it would always kill me. And that's it's first then that I discovered that dodging is not a damage denial, it is a damage reduction if you do it right. So if I were to give some closing tips or so, I mean, I don't know anything about making a game. It would be that consider level size when you include something like platforming or combat, because it did not feel like it was thought through. The combat in itself was nice, and the level design in itself was nice, but that doesn't mean that you can't just always take two great things, combine them, and then have the result be great. This was an example of that. Fighting in narrow spaces is something that a lot of games tend to avoid if you don't have a first person or third person perspective and a ranged weapon. Now, a ranged weapon in this might not have been a great idea, but for example, utilizing Piper as a sort of go out there and attack those that are too far away. That would also allow you for making puzzles that are where you have to utilize Piper a bit more, because Piper was basically just there to be like a narrator alongside Dusty, and then basically be a MacGuffin before the fight with Fear. And I don't think that's a really great way to make a character. Like, if you make a character that's like Navi in that sense, it works a lot better if that character is A, something that you can use for puzzles, or B, someone who can do something on their own, or you tell them to do something. Like in Child of Light, where your orb of light could activate and deactivate as well as stun enemies. It had a very great utility. Piper doesn't do anything. Let's be honest. She doesn't do anything until she becomes a MacGuffin, and then she doesn't do anything after that. And that's not a great way to make anything. Obviously, MacGuffins are a bit of an edge point, because you're always going to get out to a point where it's like, when did that happen? Why did we do this? Why did we know this? For example, not exactly a MacGuffin, but there was a Tomb Raider game, one of the newer ones, where essentially like the Ark of the Covenant-ish, and if you were to look at it, you would likely die. The final fight is between Lara Croft and an attack helicopter, of all things, in the remains of an old church. And somehow she instinctively knows, and this is not something that had been used in that game ever before, like, it has never come up, it has never been activated, the arc or whatever the item was had always been covered up. In that fight, the tarp that is covering up is basically removed, and Lara just knows that she should not be A, looking at it, and B, in the direct line of it, and basically ducks behind a pew and survives, where we see the windows of the church get blasted out and the attack helicopter is taken down. So MacGuffin in that sense that it's out of nowhere, you had no leading up to it. We had no knowledge of Piper being a glimmer of hope. We had no knowledge that she could sing. We had no intent to know that she would be the solution to that. Okay, there are fear, despair walls on both sides. There's no button. We can't attack the fear walls. What are we going to do? If that had occurred earlier, and I'm not saying that she had a roll entirely through, but if she had, like, if you had an option, like, it had to have a cutscene when the very first wave of despair appears, have Piper then be like, oh, this is bad, but I can fix it. And then basically like using her through this last level, that would have worked better, because then she wouldn't have been a MacGuffin in the same way. But I think, well, the video is now 50 minutes long, and that's basically spending the last 20 minutes of that talking about that and Tomb Raider, which I really didn't intend to, but I did intend to make the finale last as long as the finale lasts, including the credits. This was a fun game, if sometimes a bit frustrating, because of how some of the puzzles were designed. I think for the most part the puzzles were good and fun. Combat was also an interesting addition, and I think there was maybe 1 or 2 times where we had to puzzle while fighting. One time where it was part of the puzzle, which is good. That is nice. Generally, you don't want to mix combat with puzzling too much, but I think it mostly worked out nicely. Combat combined with the level design, not great. That is definitely one thing where I would be like, as a tester, I would be like, is this intentional? Because that's not great. There was one time where I actually managed to break one of the levels and be like stuck on top of a mushroom, I think it was. That doesn't happen a lot, so kudos for that. Also kudos for having a lot of save points. That works with the difficulty of the fighting, so that's kind of nice. That levels it out a bit. I would still like to have combat or level design be better in terms of that, but overall I really liked this game. It was a different experience to what I normally play, and it was fun to try something different, and I'm glad that there was not jumping, there was no parkour. That is good. Platforming can work, puzzles can work, platforming can also work to a degree. This was more of a puzzle action game, given the combat, and yeah, I would recommend it. I think it is fun, if a bit frustrating at times. So, with that, we will end our little Halloween, well, dual series with both Qa'Rajh and Figment, and return to your normal scheduled Elder Scrolls stuff. So, until the next video, take care.